Merry Christmas, y'all. Christmas Day action in the NFL, not just NBA today. Makes me kind of sad because I got a lot to watch. I got a bunch of trips to make. I got a trip to make to the Griffith's house, to the Giannis house, everywhere. You know what I mean?
Giannis, that's how you pronounce your name?
But I got a lot of trips to make on Christmas. I'll be stopping by a few houses while there's games going on. The Birds play at 4:30. Might got to catch it with EJ if he wants me. I don't know.
We'll see what type of mood I'm in. Depends what Santa brings me.
I don't think Santa's going to bring you a lot. You've been a bad boy, huh?
Well, then you ain't coming. Santa better spoil me.
We're going to give you
want to watch the game with me.
Hey, y'all want to know when I watch the game with you?
We are. That is true. 2.
2-0? What's the...
Skins.
Oh, yeah. I'm 2-0 when I watch the game with you, man. So, put that into consideration. We're going to give you our 3 props and our 3 fantasy players, 2 fantasy players, because my third one got hurt. I purely had nothing else that I liked in this game. So, I'll give you it, but he's hurt. All right, Aggie, you want to kick us off with your props?
I sure will. And Merry Christmas to you all. And may these fantasy players bring you holiday joy and move you on to the championship round next week. All right, so for my first player in that Chiefs and Raiders game, I got Jacoby Myers. He's playing the Chiefs, who he had 20 points against in Week 12. All right, the Chiefs have Willie Snead, who's a very good quarterback one, who's going to be playing against Devontae Adams and shutting him down. I think Jacoby Myers is going to be pretty good going against that number 2 and not having the defense play against him. Also, he's seen 4 to 7 targets in his last 4 games with Aiden O'Connell as quarterback. Raiders are 10.5-point underdogs. They're going to be throwing the ball. All right.
Sadly.
Yeah, I do like the black and silver, but I liked it more with Derek Carr. Jacoby Myers is my play. He's the wide receiver too. He had 20 points against the Chiefs in Week 12. I think he doubles down as a 10.5-point underdog. They're going to have to throw the ball. Put him in your starting lineup. Now, brings me to my second player. I got Wan'Dale Robinson, okay, for the Giants.
Yeah, I like that.
The Eagles are the worst pass defense in the league right now. Literally ranked 32 out of 32 teams. Darius Slay's hurt. Avonte Maddox has been hurt all year. James Bradbury got paid and then didn't train all offseason.
He disappeared.
He plays the same position as JSN. We all saw what he did on Monday night, producing and catching that game-winning touchdown. Giants are making a conscious effort to get him involved as they spent a first-round pick on him last year. They're going to try to get him going. Tommy DeVito's a young player. Wan'Dale Robinson's a young player. Eagles have a weak defense. I think Wan'Dale Robinson can find it.
Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets, yes, but we're going to be cutting his ass up all day. I don't hear it. All right? I don't like it, I should say. Michael Pittman just got hurt, so you may be in desperate need of a player, and he's ruled out. OBJ is my third player for this Sunday night marquee matchup. And with that being said, in marquee matchups, OBJ comes to play. All right? In that Super Bowl, he came to play. In the playoffs for the Rams, he came to play. In other big games this year, he has came to play. The Rams against his former team. He balled out. Came to play.
You have to ball out against your, former team.
Exactly. So, also, he's playing the 21st ranked defense against fantasy wide receivers, giving up 19.1 points per game. 4 out of his last 6 games, he's gone over 11 points, so they're getting him involved. Yeah, slow start to the season, but they're getting him involved. His ESPN boom bust is 22 boom compared to his 13% bust. OBJ is a starting wide receiver in a big matchup on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I like it. 49ers weakest part of the defense is their secondary. Put OBJ in your lineup.
All right, to my fantasy player, I did have Jerick McKinnon as my Chiefs Raiders one, but he got ruled out today, and I just found out about it.
What's wrong with him?
His hamstring. So he got ruled out today. That means Pacheco should be playing, hopefully. I don't know. But Jerick McKinnon was my guy, and I had a pretty good case for it. It's fine, though. I'm not going to, get into all that. Going to my second fantasy player, DeAndre Swift. Okay, if the Eagles can get the run game going, he will be super effective for your fantasy team. like I will mention for my prop, the Giants allow 136 rush yards to opposing backs. Eagles O-line versus the weak Giants D-line. Who do you favor in this, if I'm being honest? Okay.
Go on.
Can cause some major problems for the Giants, as for Swift and even Kenneth Gainwell. Start Swift with confidence. Trust me, he will pick it up for the playoffs and the Stars this week. His boom bust is 14 to 25.
So 25 that he's going to boom.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, Taysom Hill's boom bust was high and he sold, but, Swift is a running back, not a tight end on a team that has a bunch of tight ends. Swift is a running back on a team that doesn't have a lot of running backs. Well, they do, but they don't
use Kenny Gainwell. Boston Scott's irrelevant.
And I don't know what happened to Penny, but going to my Ravens 49ers fantasy player, Isaiah Likely. He is that guy right now in Baltimore, and Jackson has shown he is the guy throwing him the ball. They have a nice little connection, and they're going to have a couple gifts under the tree for each other for sure. Okay? I don't know if it's going to be all like golf carts like we've seen all over the damn NFL, but he is a must start for this week once again, as EJ mentioned him last week, right? You didn't mention him last week. His boom bust is 18 to 25, favoring him to have another massive game. After the bye, he scored a touchdown in each game, and he had 20.8 and 18 last two games, and isn't seeing less than 6 targets since week 12. And no less than 40 yards. So when he gets the ball, he's not going for less than 40 yards. That's at least 6 fantasy points right there. If you factor in the targets, or not the targets, the receptions and the yardage. The 49ers are ranked 12 versus tight ends, but they don't have their starting safety. This will open up a lane for Likely all night. I like that. So you should start Likely at your tight end this week.
I didn't like that until you mentioned about Hufanga's missing, so the seam might be open.
It should be open. Sure. Hopefully it should.
I hope you're right about that. Anything else you gotta say?
I wish Jerick McKinnon, I wish I would have known he would have got hurt earlier. I would have had a nerve. You could, like EJ told me, the Chiefs' defense could be considerable, but for me personally, I think Devontae Adams has a massive game. The Raiders, like we saw today with Pittsburgh, they're an absolute must-win. Look what Pittsburgh did. Completely demolished Cincinnati. I didn't expect that. A lot of people didn't expect that. The Steelers were actually falling apart, but they're in a must-win. The Raiders must win. Must win. If they lose, they're possibly out the playoff contention. Devontae Adams, All-Pro, Hall of Famer receiver. Josh Jacobs, All-Pro, Hall of Famer running back.
Hall of Fame.
I think Josh Jacobs can make it to the Hall of Fame.
No.
I think he can.
No. Like if he retired today?
Well, not today, in the future.
Man, he had one great year last year. And then
give him time.
His rookie year was good, but in between was not good.
All
right, y'all heard that bold take. Hall of Fame.
I mean,
Josh Jacobs.
I don't see why not. He's good.
No.
If he goes to a different team, he could be a Hall of Famer.
Maybe, but he's not gonna be.
Okay.
He ain't no Adrian Peterson.
But doesn't matter. He's still a Hall of Famer. Okay. I don't care. I think he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Tell me why he wouldn't be one.
Dude, you gotta think of the running backs in his generation right now. Christian McCaffrey, Hall of Famer. Zeke's a Hall of Famer over him. Don't even say no. Right now, okay, fine, we'll take Zeke out. Kamara, Hall of Famer over. That's 2 right there. You can't really have 3 running backs in the Hall of Fame from one generation. I mean, you can. You definitely can. I would say that's wrong. Saquon, Hall of Famer. You better not say Saquon's not a Hall of Famer over Josh Jacobs. Who else is in there that I'm missing? Eckler. That's 4 there.
Not right now. How he's playing.
You put Josh Jacobs in the Hall of Fame
right now.
over Eckler.
Right now, if they retire today, dude, Eckler hasn't done anything this year. Josh Jacobs at least is.
If you had a ballot to vote, you would vote for Josh Jacobs over Eckler in the Hall of Fame.
He deserves it more right now.
Oh my goodness. We ain't talking about the Pro Bowl, Seb. We're talking about the Hall of Fame.
I think
Holy
Josh Jacobs
smokes.
makes a good case for
Don't
it.
edit this out. Don't even.
I'm not good
We're
at
going to make an individual video about this in the offseason. Josh Jacobs versus Austin Eckler.
I just think right now how their both seasons are going, I think Josh Jacobs
it's not
has
the
the edge.
2023 Pro Bowl. It's Hall of Fame for the career.
I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be close, but I think Josh Jacobs is going to have a pretty fight. I think he wins a championship before Eckler will. I don't think Eckler wins a championship. I think Josh Jacobs does.
It's a running back. It's irrelevant, but okay.
Doesn't matter. I think he still wins one.
He better get Super Bowl.
Eckler won't ever win a championship. I think Josh Jacobs has a way better chance.
He's won fantasy championships and told you to start him. That's pretty Hall of Fame stuff. He's like,
we're not talking about fantasy football here, man.
That's
talking
production.
I just think Josh Jacobs is going to be...
How
old is he?
I can't wait. We better... All right, put in the comments below. Who goes into the Hall of Fame? We need that in the comments section, all right? If you were to vote in the Hall of Fame right now, Josh Jacobs or Austin Eckler by the end of their career, all right? What do you think?
Okay, how old is Josh?
27.
25? 26? He got a good 10 years left. Tell me.
Change subjects. No, he doesn't. He's not playing 10 more years in the NFL. He just had like 300 touches last year. He's not. Bro, he's hurt this year. He's already hurt.
Eckler was hurt too.
He's 30. Man, all right. My prop now. Rashee Rice over 67.5 receiving yards. This guy is the number one wide receiver for Patrick Mahomes. He's seen now less than 9 targets in 4 straight games. He is producing with that volume as he's gone over this line in back-to-back games with 91 and 72 in the last game. Also gone over this line in 3 out of 4 games with one of the games being under 65.5 receiving yards at 64 yards. So he is definitely getting close to the 67.5 receiving yards with one game at 64.5 out of the last 3 of the 4. Then that game was also in Lambeau Field, okay? At night, conditions are not made to throw the ball there. His opponent is the Raiders that give up 141.5 receiving yards per game to wide receiver position on average. His last game against the Raiders, he set a career high at 107 yards. I like for him to get over 67.5 receiving yards against the Raiders this week. If you don't, then you don't have to take it. Now, brings me to my next prop, and I hate to say it, my Eagles will win. Eagles, Eagles.
That's what we
Go
thought last week.
Birds. Okay?
That's what we thought last week on the road. Isn't this on the road again? Against a
No,
team
it's
that we
at
don't
home.
think's
This
not
is in Philadelphia.
Thank God.
Darren Waller is going over 36.5 receiving yards, though, on my Eagles. He went over this line in his first game back with 40 yards against the Saints, who are a much better team at guarding the tight end. We are over here picking up Darius Leonard. They got Demario Davis, okay? They are very good against the tight end. My Eagles allow, on average, 49 receiving yards per game to the tight end position. This line set at 36.5, with only holding a tight end under 36 receiving yards in 6 out of 14 games this year. That's under 50% of their games that they've held a tight end under 36 yards. Okay. Darren Waller has gone over 36 yards in 4 straight games where he's played all 4 quarters. And 5 out of his 6 games where he's played the full game start to finish, he's gone over 36 yards. He saw 6 targets his last game, which is a good look for him, and they're going to continue to get him involved in a game where he has a very good matchup against my Eagles. That's what I got to say about that. Now my second prop.
Your third prop.
Third prop. Justin Tucker, over 1.5 field goals.
You stole my heart.
I did steal his heart, but I got it first. He made at least 2 field goals in 4 straight games. Also, he's attempted no less than 2 field goals in 7 straight games. I like for him to go over 1.5 field goals if he's made at least 2 field goals in 4 straight and attempted at least 2 field goals in 7 straight. I like him over 1.5.
All right. Stole my notes there. No, I'm playing. But At least, if I can't have it, I'm glad he does because it's going to hit. Just like he said about my DK, it's going to hit, right? To my props. And this is the first time we both had a kicker at the same time.
Okay.
I think it is, at least. We could go back on the receipts.
Surprise.
But my prop for the Chiefs and Raiders game, Harrison Butker over 7.5 kicking points. Now, I know I said Evan McPherson's a lock and he's sold. I'm sorry. The Bengals didn't want to play today, apparently. And whenever they got into the red zone, they decided to go for everything instead of kick it like a smart team would. So, I don't know what they're up to. I didn't tell you. Zach did. That coach. That number on, okay? So, kickers have shown much love to Gen Z this year. Okay.
They sure have.
And why not go back to the well? Just the Chiefs offense has been struggling to score points recently. Last game, Harrison had 9 kicking points because they couldn't convert in the red zone against my Pats. They play the Raiders this game. This game will either bring them a whole lot of points or a whole lot of field goals. Either way, Harrison can definitely hit this mark. Butker had gone over 7 times this year and hit exactly 7 3 times. Okay, last time they played Vegas, he had exactly 7 points with 1 field goal and 4 extra points. Take away an extra point, add a field goal in there, the prop hits. Okay, I think in this game, the Raiders are in a must-win. They're going to be pushing it on defense. I think Max Crosby has himself a day. Okay, he's going to give this Chiefs offense some trouble, and they're going to have to kick some. Like I said, this could go either way, but this one is a safe one for me, I feel like. Going to my second prop, DeAndre Swift, over 66.5 rush yards. His last 3 out of 5, he has gone over this mark and had 74 last week on Seattle, where the Eagles didn't even use the run a lot. The Giants are, actually, no, I'm sorry. They did, but to Jalen Hurts. The Giants are 21st versus the rush, and they allow 136 rush yards a game. Like I said earlier, when Swift gets over 17 attempts, he hits this mark every time. He had 18 last week. I expect Swift to get looks running the ball, and the Eagles finally run through him. Run the game through DeAndre Swift like they did against Minnesota. Look what happened. Beautiful win. Almost blew it, but beautiful win.
I don't know how we almost blew it. We won by a decent amount, but go on.
Or am I thinking about the wrong game? You guys had a big lead, and they were just coming back a little bit.
Yeah, it was the Vikings, but they never got the lead. Go on.
Gus Edwards is my final prop. Over 10.5 rush attempts. Be careful here. Okay, rush attempts. I said it, rush attempts, not rush yards. Rush attempts. I like this. All right. And here's why. His last 3 out of 5 games, he has gone over this with no less than 11 rush attempts. The 49ers are ranked 12 versus the rush, and recently their game script has been around the run. I'm talking about the Ravens. They tend to begin the first drive with at least 3 to 4 runs. I look back on some game tapes. I took time. They start the drives off running the ball to Gus Edwards and play action runs, or should I say, play design runs for Lamar Jackson. Okay, Gus had 16 on the Jags last week, 16 attempts. Pretty good rush defense. He's picking up some heat heading into the playoffs. I see the Ravens struggling to pass with the 49ers front coming at them. Okay, Gus can very well get over this against this strong defense. They allow 71.4 rush yards a game. And the Ravens attempt 32.7 rush attempts a game between Lamar and Gus. Not exactly between them, but you factor in the, second string backs, you probably take away 5 of all of that. So for being honest, they average more like 27. That should still get you over. Okay? So those are our 6 props. We need some money on Christmas. Go buy yourself something nice. Go buy your girlfriend something nice. If you don't have one, again, go buy yourself something nice.
Or your mom.
Or your mom, or your dad, your sister, or your grandpops, or your cat, or your dog. Even your car.
Yeah.
Or you could
your
send
card
one to
detail
someone
and
random in the world. Be generous. Spread love and kind. Damn, the game's tied up already. I gotta go sweat my
With that being
magic.
said, we'll put down some donation box. I'm just kidding.
Okay, donation box to EJ Griffiths. I'll put your address in there too, so they could,
No, I
send
don't
you.
want them knowing where I live, because if I get it wrong, it ain't gonna be good. But I don't get it wrong, so it's
Toilet
good.
paper, TP that house, TP all over.
You better sleep with one eye open. You do that.
I bet EJ doesn't
Look
even
at
own a
dog.
ladder. He won't be able. He's gonna be.
What are you talking about? I don't own a ladder. How do you think I gotta clean the gutters, man?
Aren't you a bird?
I'm an eagle.
Gotta fly up there.
All right, man.
We'll see you guys next week, and Merry Christmas to all.